Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bari-Connected podcast. And we got a treat for you guys today. We got Rob DiMedio here with us, and he is from Busy Bariatrics. He is going to be sharing about plateaus and how basically, people people struggle with these on their weight loss journey, and maybe some of the biggest reasons or the biggest reason that patients may plateau. So if you found yourself, if you're pre-op and you're kind of looking forward to this journey and you want to make sure that you put some things in place to have a really smooth journey, or if you're post-op and you're finding some bumps in the road and you want a little extra help, we're here to help. And in that, I'm going to kind of read a little bit of Rob's bio, and then I'm going to kind of just turn over and let him tell you a little bit more about himself because only he can justify that. So,
You're way too
so,
kind. Thank you, Brenda.
so Rob is, as I mentioned, he is a coach. He is the founder of Busy Bariatrics, and he also is a bariatric patient himself. He is certified in fitness and nutrition, and also is a school teacher, which we had to kind of work around his schedule here today. So I appreciate that, Rob, because I know this is really kind of pushing you a little bit. But he's going to be hosting a summer camp, and we're going to be kind of getting a little bit more into that. He's there to help you guys. His major niche market is bariatrics, people who've had weight loss surgery. And so, in that, Rob, I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you talk a little bit about more about yourself. And also, I'd like to have you tell patients, you know, more about your own journey and what kind of brought you to this point in your life of helping other people
Yeah,
with.
absolutely, Brenda. Thanks so much for having me on. And I know this is tough because on a podcast, it's very tough to boil down 5 years of being a bariatric patient as well as 3 years of coaching hundreds of bariatric patients. But if this is the first time anyone is meeting me, hi, my name's Rob DiMedio, like Brenda said. And I've been a bariatric patient for 5 years. I've lost and maintained over 150 pounds. And I've also coached hundreds of clients to do the same. It is something that has become important to me is teaching my patented busy method, which is where we really do teach our clients how to build habits, understand nutrition, stay active, put yourself first, and use some healthy sources of dopamine, which if you spell all that down right on it, it spells busy. And I get that because for so many of you, you are busy individuals. We have bariatric surgery and we're not having it in a bubble. It's an entire life. Prior to surgery for me, I was a teacher. I was also coaching. I was also showing up with my kids, and I had two young ones under the age of 10 when I had bariatric surgery. So if there's anyone who understands the fact that like it is a busy schedule and there is a lot to do, it is me. And because of that, I want to make sure that we have a lot of clear stuff that we can help you with and also make sure that you're there because for so many of you, you are committing to having bariatric surgery or you've committed to having bariatric surgery and you may be on your journey thinking like, is this all the weight I'm going to lose? Or is this really all I'm getting out of it? And for me, I found that there are a couple simple things that we can do to help almost any client get out of their initial plateau and lose an additional 20 to 30 pounds after weight loss surgery. And I can't wait to share all of it with you today. How'd I do, Brenda? Did that like kind of introduce me enough? Are we set?
We're set. Yes, that's great. I'm looking here. Somebody had something about sound. So I'm hoping that you guys can hear us okay. Um, I think Jill just suggested, make sure your sound is on because sometimes it does kind of automatically pop on as off. So other than that, just lots of great people here saying hi and ready to get started, I guess.
I know. So awesome to see so many. If you could, everyone, just put in the chat if you have gone through a plateau at some point in your bariatric journey. Like if you put a thumbs up, a one, a Q, an angry face. If you are someone who has sat there and said, I'm doing everything right, but I just can't get the scale to move. Okay, perfect. You are my people, and this is all going to be perfect for you. Also, don't worry about taking notes. I'm going to leave a link in the chat so that you can get a copy of the presentation and all the other good stuff here. So I just want you to be present, think about it, throw all the questions in the chat, and we'll kind of do a little Q&A as we go through. So for when I meet with a lot of clients, they will come to me and they will say, I have done everything and I am stuck. I am the one person who cannot get the scale to move. I see people on Instagram, Mary Lou who lives 3 houses down, lost 150 pounds in 2 weeks, and I'm over here losing or stalling, and I have no idea what happened. I think my surgery stopped working. I'm going to go to my surgeon, ask for my receipt, or ask for a revision. And yeah, you may need a revision for other reasons, but before we go through that, there are some simple things we can check. If you are someone who has sat there and has been like, you know what, I have scrolled through every part of Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and every other social media platform, and I have seen 15 people in either their shirt off with a six pack or running around in a bikini telling me I've broken my metabolism and you need a metabolic restart. I've heard that too. And you need to understand that maybe your metabolism slowed down, just like surgery might have stopped working, but there's probably something else. If you are one of those people who have sat there and said, I'm just not motivated to do this anymore, I am done being a bariatric patient, I have been a bariatric patient, how much longer do I have to lift weights, track my nutrition, get my steps, hit my water, get my sleep, take my vitamins, which should always be ProCare because those are the vitamins that we all know, love, and trust. But if you're sitting there going like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this for the rest of my life, I will tell you, continue taking your ProCare vitamins, but the rest of the stuff we're going to talk about is how to get into the belief system that helps my clients thrive. So, if you fit into any one of those three buckets, or you are just sitting there, or you are sitting here at pre-op saying, like, well, I'm hearing all this. I don't want to have bariatric surgery if it's not going to work. I've actually helped tons of bariatric patients also put everything together prior to bariatric surgery. And by using this system, I actually lost 50 pounds prior to bariatric surgery. Nothing crazy, nothing intense, but just some simple things that happen. So again, I love all the chat engagement, Brenda. I always say like ProCare brings the best people into these calls, and it's so happy to see everyone. Let's fire up the chat again, and if you are on and listening to this live, put a one, a thumbs up, or something in here so I know you're my people. If you've ever been on during the week, Sunday night, you eat your moderately meal. Monday to Thursday, you're good. Friday, you probably have that sensible lunch, and then you get home exhausted. You take your shoes off, which to me is when I'm done the week. And you're like, I need all the pizza, or I just want to sit catatonic. If you could put something in there, or just give me a thumbs up or a heck yeah, or whatever you have, and good to see it. How about if this sounds familiar? You've done a 30-day challenge, a 2 week fitness challenge. You've seen a step bet or a step goal challenge that comes in, and you go through and you say, yes, I'm going to hit it. And then 3 days in, you miss a day. And the next thing you know, you say, well, I've lost my streak. This is time to be done. And I'm not doing this anymore. Sound familiar? Yep. Looks like all of our people are right here. I'm going to go a third one. If you still feel left out, I'm going to hop you in with this one. How many of you have said, I'm just going to start fresh on Monday? I'm taking this time off. I'm going to do it Monday. I'm going to do it next month. I'm going to do it in the spring when it gets a little warmer. Then I'm going to do it in the summer, or I'm going to get past the holidays and start in the new year. Or you've just been like, diet starts Monday. Brenda, these are my people. Like, look at this chat. Like, I get it, people. And I am so happy you're here because I want you to learn what I have learned from over 5 years in my bariatric experience, but also with helping so many people, is that you need to hear this because the internet's going to tell you differently. There are thousands of voices online that will tell you that you are broken, that you are irreparable, that this didn't work, or that you need something positive in order to get this fixed. And I'm here to tell you, you are not broken. You are a bariatric patient that is stuck in a pattern that just needs to be retooled more so than anything else. And what we're going to talk about for the rest of this session is how we look at these simple patterns that keep repeating and causing self-sabotage. How do we get out of it? But more importantly, how do we have actionable skills that can ensure your success? So, the real truth. What is holding you back and why you have plateaus are probably because you do not have the proper structure in place to get through. So many of us treat bariatric surgery as a reactionary procedure, meaning I have put my health, my fitness, myself last for years because we're either busy professionals, parents, you name it. And then you say, oh my goodness, how did I get to 365 pounds and have no idea what to do in the gym? Guilty is charged right here. You probably don't have a system that shows you what to do on the weekends. That's probably number two, is like you're kind of like, look, I know how to meal prep lunches for work. I can pack a lunch. I know how to grab like a little egg bite from Starbucks or a wake up slap from Dunkin' Donuts and go there. And you're like, I know how to meal prep, so I'm good. I derail on this, and you don't really have a system in place. The other issue we see with people is that you don't really have consistency under pressure. Your plan works perfectly until something goes wrong. And this is where I'm going to go to the great, most eloquent Michael Tyson. Maybe you have heard of him. He is a renowned speaker, but he is also known as a boxing heavyweight championship, Iron Mike. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's the truth when it comes to our bariatric journey. We all know what to do when it's good. We all know what to do immediately when it's out. We all know how to do what's needed when we are having everything go right. But what happens? What happens when things go wrong? What happens when it's cold in the morning and you don't want to get out of bed? What happens when your kid is sick? What happens when your work deadline creeps up or your boss dumps a pile of things on your desk? That's where we have to start seeing how we change our habits, patterns, and behaviors, because those are the moments that if we start to address and work, makes a world of difference. So many times in diet culture, the answer is to white knuckle it or say no days off, or you have to power through the tough days. And yeah, in theory, that works really well if you are living on your own and you have no other responsibilities other than to your fitness. But the truth is, we do not live in a bariatric bubble. Bariatric patients, more than anyone else, deal with the struggle of food noise and the addiction of obesity that happens. And we also understand the importance and the problem of if we stop going, what happens to our body, or do we revert to old habits? So we have to start asking ourselves what actually works? What can we use that helps put the structure in place with a system that doesn't overwhelm our brains or our time? And what makes sure that it can actually work when we are not completely overwhelmed? And that's where I started the busy method. So busy, B-U-S-Y, and then there's an exclamation point, and I'll explain why, is how we teach our clients to get through life. And it's an idea that works whether you're young, old, metabolism fixed or broken, PCOS, perimenopause, on a GLP-1, off a GLP-1, considering a GLP-1, all of that we help clients with. But where we find the best success is when we start to teach our clients how to build habits so that they're not starting over. They're just getting a little bit better each time they see a situation. We teach them how to actually understand nutrition so that they are not living by food rules or living in a tracker. We do get you to track to begin so we get an idea of what you're doing. And then we teach you how to get rid of the tracker for good. We teach you how to stay active, how to build a lifestyle fitness that you actually love and allows you to show up around your lifestyle, as opposed to making you stay handcuffed to a treadmill when you want to spend time with your family and friends. And then finally, the game changer that I don't think enough people give credit for, the exclamation point, because they're like, Rob, building habits, understanding nutrition, staying active, yourself comes first. That spells busy. What's the exclamation point? It's healthy sources of dopamine. If you've ever sat and you've said to yourself, okay, I've lost 10 pounds, I'm going to a restaurant, or I've just crushed my diet or a 30-day challenge. Now I'm bringing back the pizza, the beer, the chicken wings, everything that we love and is delicious. Tell me if you've ever celebrated that by putting a one in the chat, or a thumbs up, or raise your hand in the chat. Of I lost 5 to 10 pounds. I finally got into like that range that makes me feel good. So what am I going to do? I'm going to celebrate with the pizza, the food. Okay, we're all here and we're all paying attention. And the problem is Yes, that is a great dopamine reward if you want to spike your dopamine and tell your body, yes, I've accomplished something. The problem is, though, it is counterintuitive to everything you've just trained your body to do through habits, patterns, and behaviors. So we have to figure out healthy sources of dopamine that work. And yes, I see there's some bashful faces, Brenda, that are coming in. And I just want everyone to know you are not alone. You are my people. And that's something I want everyone to understand, that you aren't broken. You are completely doing everything right. You just need to do them a little righter or tweak what you're already doing. So, if you're sitting there and you've ever fallen off and you're like, I'm such a failure, I'm not caring enough, I feel like I'm wasting my time, you need to understand you don't fall off in your bariatric journey because you don't care. You fall off because you are relying on motivation to do the work and you aim for perfection. I'm going to say it again so it's clear. One, you rely on motivation, meaning you do the work when you feel good, when you're fully rested, when your schedule permits, when everything else happens. And yes, we all can do the work when we're motivated, but what happens on those days when we're cold, we're tired, our kids are sick, our job is crazy? What we do in those moments actually tell us how we're going to do, because sadly, we spend a lot more time statistically unmotivated than we do motivated to do things, especially when you consider getting 1, 2, or even 5 years post-op like me, coming up on 6 years. I'm not as motivated as I was in the first year of bariatric surgery. It just isn't true. I have to do a lot of work to have a fairly average to mild physique. And I say that in the best way possible. Doing the work of weight loss surgery is a continuous process, and it is something that you have to do even when you are not motivated. The other part that we see people struggle with is you are aiming for perfection. You look at it as if you don't have 2 hours to get to the gym, so I'm not doing anything. You look at it as you had one bad meal on Friday night, there's no point tracking. I'm going to take everything else and just wait till Monday to start. You say, you know what? The summertime, I don't have a lot of structure and I want to do barbecues. I'm going to get ready in September. Then September rolls around, and you're like, well, it's back to school season. I'm going to get ready in October. October is Halloween candy. November is Thanksgiving. December is holiday parties. And boom, now we're sitting here in January, about 5 to 7 pounds heavier than we were, saying, now I'm going to start. And it's the cold dead of winter in New Jersey. And this year we got over like 3 feet of snow and ice, which meant like, yeah, there was no reason I wanted to get up at 4:30 in the morning and get my workout in. So you're like, Rob, this sounds exactly like what I deal with. How do I fix this? And there's a lot of ways we do this, but the solution is we put a couple non-negotiables in place for our clients. And what I recommend is, making sure that you hit your water and your protein goals. No matter what, no matter what day, you're going to have to drink water and you're going to have to take that. And yes, I totally get the idea that when people celebrate, like we're seeing in the chat, like, yes, people go out to celebrate your goal weight by taking you out for a Korean fried chicken. And yes, that is delicious. But at the same time, like, that's what we're talking about of it's kind of counterintuitive. And how do we build healthy boundaries around how we talk to our coworkers with it? That's a lot of the why that I think goes unsaid is when I talk to clients and bariatric people, work involvement comes up a lot of, hey, I want to go out to lunch. We work at a busy job where we go out for drinks or we eat at steakhouses, we wine and dine. And I have a lot of executives I work with. And something as simple as saying, like, hey, if we communicate our goals and our big scary dreams, people listen a little bit better. What I mean by that is doing a simple thing like saying, hey, Brenda, I love that you want to take me out for dinner for me hitting my goal weight. But right now, my goal is I want to restore my relationship with food. So, although I do want to celebrate with you, I don't want to do it around food. Can we maybe play pickleball or go for a walk or go to a silent disco in New Orleans at like 1 o'clock in the morning and have the best time? And Brenda knows what I'm talking about, people. You can message her afterwards. But the goal is like even something as simple as communicating your new healthy boundary and understand helps. And for so many people, they say that nobody knows the struggle, but I will challenge you with this. How often are you communicating your struggle to others? So many times in my experience, people would try to give me food as a sense of soothing because I've always accepted food as a choice of soothing. So if they don't know I don't want that behavior to show up anymore, it's how we simply change the same conversation and go. The other part we work on our solution is having a floor. What's the minimum standard we can do? And something as simple as having a step goal can help. The first 50 pounds I lost, I truly accredit to behavior change that I did with everything, as well as hitting a step goal. And if you're working from home and saying, like, well, how do I keep myself accountable? It's very simple. You start to put things into place as far as structure of here's what I'm having each day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I advance look at the plan so that I know what I'm having, and you hold the boundary there. You cannot expect others to hold you accountable if you cannot hold yourself accountable. And it's the biggest thing we help teach clients every day is simple things of we don't have to be perfect. We have to go through the bare minimum. One of the best conversations I had on my podcast came from Jamie Mills, the sleep dietitian, where we talked about this idea of perfection around food and movement. It is episode 23 on my podcast. And during that episode, we talk a lot about the idea that C's get degrees. And what that means is we do not have to be perfect in our bariatric journey, but if we do the bare minimum and pass, we can kind of get through these tough periods so that when we do have the motivation or we do have the time, space, and energy, we haven't completely derailed and we've held the line with what we need. The other part is like accountability is always easier when you have a coach. And I will tell you that is one of the reasons I hold myself a little bit more accountable is I have to send progress photos and a check-in to my coach every week of here's where my nutrition is, my compliance is, and explain why it didn't go the way it did or what went well. Something we work with all the time with our clients is not really looking at it as all or nothing, but the idea of like, hey, what can we improve just this week? And then giving ourselves a month of mastering that system to get to the next part. So a lot of the times I hear you where you say like, I'm the one who holds myself back. And sometimes it just takes a third party whose sole goal is to look at your systems and beliefs objectively and say, here's where I think we can improve. Here's what we're doing well. And here's what we just have to keep going. And that's what we're going to talk about with a couple of our clients. So, if you're sitting there saying, how do I even get this stuff done? A lot of it comes from the idea that you have to shift your identity of who you are. And a great example of this is my client, Lindsay. Lindsay was a high functioning professional in her mid 30s, and she came to me 9 months out of her wedding. And she said, Rob, I work a 60-hour work week. I have a bachelorette party in New Orleans for my friend. We are going to France for my bachelorette party. And of course, in true fashion, she's like, I'm a football fan. How are we going to manage this? And I was like, well, you live in Washington, D.C., and you're a Commanders fan, so that should take care of that. Um, and the problem is that was the year the Commanders went to the NFC Championship against my Eagles. So we had 5 extra playoff games and parties we had to manage and deal with. But what we did is we started to help Lindsay shift her identity of I am someone who holds boundaries as opposed to someone who shows up for everyone else. And it was simple things like saying, hey, I want to do this, but right now I can't until and giving that date. And that's probably the easiest way I teach people to learn boundaries to start off is the idea of like you're not saying no, you are just saying not now. Something as simple as like when Brenda says like, "Hey, I want to take you out to this silent disco in St. Louis. We're going to go out to this fancy dinner. We're going to go have drinks." And I'm like, "Brenda, that sounds awesome. But right now, I have to do a photo shoot, which I do on May 1st. And right now, I have to stay true to my goal. But I promise you, I will fly into St. Louis in the summertime and we will have a blast. You're not saying no, you're just saying not now. So you didn't finish the sentence of no, you just have to add the T to the end of it. And then the now is the second word. And it allows you to still show up for people, but have a reason and season that works for yourself. And it's something you can even say to yourself. We don't swear off donuts. We don't necessarily swear off alcohol or happy, fun behavior like going out and getting drinks. We just say for a reason or season of fat loss, we are going to take a slight pause and we're going to re identify as someone who does not have to swing from the chandeliers every time we go out for a party. Those are the identity shifts that really helped Lindsay go and lose an additional 35 pounds for her wedding, while also building muscle where her entire back was fully developed. So if you had a wedding dress, her entire back, you could see the muscle definition as well as her triceps when she held the bouquet. We taught a couple tricks so that they popped in all the photos. And she had the experience she ever wanted. The coolest thing Lindsay told me was, Rob, as good as I looked at my wedding day, my husband looked at me entirely differently when we were on the honeymoon. And to me, that's like the win and a half of, oh my goodness, she felt confident. She wore a bikini for 7 days in Aruba, and lived her best life. And if you kind of want to hear of everything that Lindsay accomplished, that is another episode in our podcast where we break down everything we did for her. Again, second reason why people plateau, you probably don't have as good of an understanding of nutrition as you wish you did or that you should. And the problem is, if you're getting a lot of your information from the internet, it is a wild west of low carbs, high fat some weeks, then other weeks are high carb, low fat. Other weeks are you need to hit protein, while other weeks are you need to put protein in everything. And then another page will tell you protein's going to reach your kidneys. And then another page says, like, well, lean proteins are good, but fatty proteins are bad. There is a lot of noise and misinformation out there on the internet, which is why you have to work with people who actually use the research and science to make sure that everything is important. And it's also important to have people who have already done the work and do everything to help you figure out. So, where a lot of people struggle in their plateau is this idea of, when can I eat this, or can I ever eat this? And the answer is, like, for a lot of us, we teach a lot of information as to when you can eat what, when, and where, and why, and how. And what I mean by that is, just because, like, when you start your bariatric journey, you are advised to be low carb does not mean you need to be low carb for the rest of your life. Part of what we do from an education standpoint is just give you a basic understanding of everything that needs to happen for your nutrition to do well, and then kind of work from there. This is where we teach our clients how to prioritize protein on their plate, how to deal with flexible decision makings. A simple technique can be something as simple as taking a look at your calendar. For, as of this recording, we're just getting into April, taking a look at the month and being like, well, if I know I have a wedding this day, and I know I have like a work function this day, and my friend Brenda wants to take me to the disco on this day, I want to make sure I have all those dates on the calendar so I can be like, okay, strategically, I know I have 5 events that I kind of like, either really like the food, or I really like the dancing, or I really like the drinking. Let's get strategic as to which one is the top priority and how can I work all of that in. So again, simple way we do that is by teaching an idea of having awareness around your calendar as opposed to restriction around your calendar. And the best example I can have from that is from my client Tara. Terrell, as of right now, has 4 kids and has lost over 150 pounds with us, while getting very clear on her calendar and being strategic, because as a mom of 4, she is constantly going and making sure that she is at her kids' birthday parties. She is going to other kids' birthday parties. She helps as a class mom. She's doing all the things. So, by getting very strategic with her calendar, we were able to look at when we can kind of have certain carbs or proteins, or how we wanted to work our calendar to reflect that. She wanted to be able to have birthday cake with her kids, like you all should be able to do. She wanted to be able to have pizza when she goes out with her girlfriends, or order what she wants off the menu without having the struggles of that. And because we got intentional of when she was going to eat those foods, we were able to help her maintain over 150 pounds off for 2 years. She's still a client because she's thriving in our system. And a lot of that is, we help clients understand the importance of showing up for themselves in the calendar, like we did Lindsay. But then also, if we want to show up for ourselves, the best way to reflect that is what we eat and how we fuel our days. And something as simple like that can be a huge deal. So, our third thing, staying active. Put a 1 in the chat, put some sort of proof in there. If you have ever thought, like, well, if I'm sweating or if I'm sore the next day after a workout, I must be doing something right. Why am I not losing all this weight? Yep, here we go. We're seeing it. This is the like, hey, we're hopping on bouncy balls or doing trampoline workouts, or we're spending hours on a spin bike, and not to take away from cardiovascular health. But for weight loss, a lot of the times the problem we see clients struggle with who are outside our program is this idea that you have to get a good sweat to get progress, or they're doing random workouts because they really like doing these online fitness programs where it's I do arms one day, I do glutes the other day, then I do full body the third day, then I do another trainer the fifth day, then I'm like doing a spin class. And because you're doing all these things and they are not aligning with the other things you're doing, you're probably doing more harm than good. You're probably not recovering your body properly. But by simply getting strategic on your calendar again, you can adjust all of these things to make sure that it works. And the way that we do that is we look at a person's lifestyle and we build it around them. Something as simple as being like, look, if you really like riding your bike, like my client Lori does, we're going to make sure that we work in like getting a weekend bike ride so that you can enjoy your time on your bike. If you like swimming, like my client Aaron does, we're going to work in like 2 days of pool workouts and then build your strength training to work around the movement that you like. You should always be having your movement working in conjunction with your health goals as opposed to in confliction. And what that means is if you really love going to Zumba class, you should absolutely do Zumba class. If you want to do Zumba class 3 days a week, great. Let's add in 2 strength days in between the Zumba classes so that you are building muscles so you are leaner and meaner and ready to go and lean into the cardio. Same is true if you are one of those gym people who are like, I love going to the gym and lifting weights. I want to do it every single day. It's like, well, why don't we give like 3 or 4 days of lifting? And then on 2 other days, we're going to strategically plan cardio to make sure that your heart is functioning at the right place. And then giving your body a day of rest because actually more of your muscle growth happens during your recovery period than it does your actual muscle building time. And we have a whole episode on how to look like you lift on the podcast that covers that. Anywho, the thing you have to learn about movement is your body really does not change from effort. And I am a pure example of that. In my heyday, I was doing 3 Peloton classes a day. I was getting 15,000 steps. And I was asking myself, why do I not look like I lift or that I even work out? And I was like pouchy and doughy in spots. I still had a belly. My arms looked flabby. I didn't really fit in my clothes or have proper posture. And the answer is we have to start becoming someone who is willing to challenge their weights in the gym. Step one is understanding we need strength training. Step two is actually getting into the gym. Step three is now we have to challenge the weight so we are lifting heavy and hard and getting our repetition the best way that we can. The best example of that is my client Lisa, who came to me about 7 months post-op and claimed that she was doing everything right and could not lose weight as well as getting everything together. And one of the ways we do that is we really make sure that we have a plan that worked for her. So we started having her challenge her weights in the gym. She kept her nutrition consistent, and she was able to lose about another 60 pounds after being in a stall for 3 months. But more importantly, her entire body composition changed. Her shoulders were more defined. She had that hourglass figure that women are always craving and wanting. More importantly, she felt strong and confident when she'd go to work, when she was around her peers, and now she's doing everything possible to be a amazing person. And she is also a coach for us and is someone who now helps others learn how to lift heavy and progress your weights in the gym. So you're like, Rob, the overwhelm is real, and I totally get that. How do I put that all together? And the answer is like they don't necessarily work alone, or you have to master all three. You have to find a balance of all of them that works for you. And what I say is like each one of these on their own is like multipliers. Think of like the Avengers or anything else. When you combine the powers of all, it actually multiplies and gets better effects. And that's what we call the power of synergy. When you start dialing in your habits, you become a more consistent person. When you start dialing in your nutrition, you are fueled to have better workouts. When you have better workouts, you're going to get the results that you've been craving after bariatric surgery. Here's the sad part. If you kick out any one of those parts, the stool collapses. So you're like, Rob, that's a lot. How do I build my habits? How do I get my workouts in? How do I get my nutrition? And the trick is we have to look at your schedule just like Taryl's, who has 4 kids at home, or Lindsay, who works 60 hours a week, or Lisa, who works 2 full-time jobs. We have to find a way that works for you in a system that works to your exact level. And the proof is in the pudding. Lindsay lost the last 30 pounds when we dialed all this in so that she looked amazing on her wedding and her honeymoon. Terrell's maintaining over 150 pounds lost the last 2 months from everything that she's done. Lisa has lost an additional 60 pounds since coming into our program and is stronger and better than ever. So, if that sounds like a lot, just know that it is. But hopefully, by covering these 3 plateaus, you have a better feel for you. So, there are a couple ways of how you can kind of do this. Option one is you can actually do a lot of this for free. And what I would say is I'm going to give the links to Brenda in the show notes to subscribe to our podcast, where we go over all the nutrition in season 1 and most of the fitness in season 2. And if you're on our email list, you get a daily piece of advice on the mindset and everything that is working for this. The other option is you could come work with us, and we do actually have a 6 month course that we offer where we give you one-on-one coaching. We give you customized workouts that we know will get you the results. We give you weekly community calls and workouts that match all of that to make sure that we have effect. And that's what Brenda was gracious enough to bring us on. We have a summer camp program where we bring in some of the best fitness and nutrition experts from across the country. This lineup is some of the best voices in the bariatric community, like Kayla Gergen, who is a registered dietitian, who is going to be teaching about blood sugar after bariatric surgery, as well as some of the best mindset experts, like Jared Hamilton, who is the host of Real Talk with Jared Hamilton, where he has helped thousands of people lose weight through mindset techniques. He is going to be teaching how to quiet food noise. We have Beth Ferrico, one of the top experts in menopause and fat loss for women over 50, teaching you how to dial in your sleep to get the last 10 pounds off, as well as people like Tabitha Johnson, who will teach you why you're not losing weight after bariatric surgery or on a GLP-1 and give you the clear mindset strategies to work on in technique. So again, we've got over 20 speakers over 20 weeks to help you put everything together, as well as some of the best coaches who are bariatric patients and people who are willing to help you who get it, as well as a community of people who are committed to building habits, understanding nutrition, staying active, and showing up for yourselves. So, with that, I've talked a lot, Brenda. I'm going to pause and I'll open it up for questions. But that's 3 ways that if you are plateauing or thinking that you're struggling in your journey, you can kind of start taking these immediate action steps to get the results you desire after weight loss surgery.
Rob, there was a couple things that were kind of brought up while you were talking, and I wanted to kind of get your input on them too as well. So I feel like you talked a lot about building habits, and some of those things include things like vitamins, water, protein, workouts, meal planning. That was someone's comment, and basically, like sometimes I know
It's
even
a
for
lot.
myself, it can feel overwhelming. Like you think, I got to do all of these things. Sometimes I think it's easy to focus on one thing at a time and really get that implemented. But I think too, by looking at your schedule, from what I'm gathering from you, and I want to hear what you say. What would you suggest? Like, would you suggest looking at your calendar and like putting it into a calendar so that you actually know what will work for you?
Absolutely. The biggest tool I recommend to every bariatric patient, more than anything else, is getting a calendar you will commit to. Some of our clients love paper. I personally am digital. I have seen people thrive either way. But even holding something as simple as saying, like, where I see a lot of bariatric patients struggle is even though ProCare vitamins are some of the best, smoothest, and easiest vitamins to take on the market, where clients can get struggled, promo code BusyBay, where clients struggle is they're spending every day mapping out, here's when I have to get my calcium, here's when I have to take my chewables, how do I put all this together, where is my pill bottle? Taking some time on Sunday and putting all your pills in a pill container so that you're good to go for the week saves you like an extra 20 to 30 minutes where you are now freeing up time. And that's where we teach with the calendar of freeing up the bandwidth to get everything done so that everything can work in conjunction with each other. So what I always say is like just like you suggested, Brenda, start by just keeping a calendar and being honest of where you're spending your time on it. If you have to take your kids for a commute and it's 40 minutes away, put that in there so that you have that together and ready to go. It's by starting to look at where we have the time, we then build out from there. A lot of people don't even put time on their calendars to plan meals, saying, like, look, I'm going to have these things to eat each day. Okay, if you do that on like a Thursday, which is what I teach a lot of my clients, is Wednesday, Thursday, try to do that. Then take Thursday to eat leftovers in your fridge. So that, like, now you've emptied out your fridge. Friday, go grocery shopping right after work so that you're changing the habit loop of either going out to happy hour or just vegging and ordering food, and get like a rotisserie chicken for dinner or get the Costco pizza. Like, we're big fans of Costco in our family because it's like, look, we get all our grocery shopping done. We have the pizza. I track my two slices, and I have like pretty much the good parts of a rotisserie chicken on the side. So I'll have like a chicken thigh and go from there. And then like we have our meals planned out for the rest of the week. So we're not scrambling back and forth to the grocery store or playing a game of I'm having the same thing to eat every day. So hopefully that answers it of like you start small in the calendar and once you master it, you move on and incorporate something else.
I see Regina is saying I meal plan on the weekends and set reminders for water and meds. And I think those
Great.
things for me, I can also attest those things have been super helpful, like the reminders and also like making sure, as you said, having a certain day to meal plan or have certain things. Also, there was a question about water aerobics and that being something, is that, would you consider that to be resistance training or would you not consider that to be resistance training?
I think water aerobics is a great combination of cardiovascular exercise and mobility work and is phenomenal for people who struggle with like joint or muscle or bone issues. And I think it's an amazing part that I've seen so many bariatric patients do well with. But I would count it more towards cardio, even if it is with resistance bands or dumbbells or anything else. And I would almost complement it more with a committed resistance training.
Okay. Um, Rob, the program, there's a note from Darlene, and maybe it's to just you and I. The program is a 6 month personalized program with an assigned coach,
Yeah.
or
So we have all different levels, and it depends on where you are. We have clients like my client Heather, who was 4 years post-op and realized she just needed workouts, nutrition, and a community as well as a group coaching. And she came in on our Hive program, which starts at 150 a month. I'm also not that coach who like says like you have to get on a call to get prices for me. I'll make it very clear because the price is the price. And then if you wanted to work with coaches, we have two different options as far as if you wanted to just have a check-in weekly. You can do that for 250 or for 350, you can get a bi-weekly Zoom with Kylie or Lisa, my two amazing coaches, uh, where they will walk you through step by step what you need to do. In all of those programs, we also have a community call on Tuesdays where we bring in these experts over the next 6 months. And then the other part is we have a group coaching call where you work with me, where I will troubleshoot in real time your coaching issues. So I think on any level, you have some of the best support. And the reason why it's 6 months is we've done research and data for everything. Brenda, you are amazing. Look at all the links that just got dropped in.
I'm
Just
gonna
when I
do that
thought
on Facebook too.
you're so awesome. Just when I thought I couldn't like Brenda anymore, she goes and drops the hammer like that. But the reason we've seen from a research perspective, 6 months is important, is most people, if they only see it as 3 months, They think that this is just another diet or challenge and they can white knuckle through it. When they go longer than 3 months, almost all the research and data shows that they stop looking at it so much as a challenge and more of a lifestyle integration. So the 6 months is truly for your own good. And also because, like, to get lasting change takes time. So many times we see people do 30-day challenges and they're handcuffing themselves to a treadmill for 5 hours and they lose 20 pounds. And the second they're done it, they're like, okay, now I'm never going to run again and I'm going to eat all the pizza and wings and everything else. And the weight comes piling back.
Rob, I also want to say there's going to be people probably listening at some point. We will have this on a replay as well. So please, guys, feel free to come back and listen again as well. But I will be posting the details of what Rob's saying here into a I'll be posting it into the details section of the either the podcast or YouTube, whichever people listen to on the replay. So that information will be there as well. And Rob, I know you mentioned something about providing a link for the presentation itself.
So if you click onto the email list, you will automatically get the presentation.
Oh,
Plus,
awesome.
I will throw in a little bit extra because I truly want to make sure that everyone gets the best opportunities here. If you join my email list, we give 10 bariatric friendly and GLP-1 friendly recipes every month delivered into your email for as long as you stay on the email list.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Rob, I'm gonna also show, is it okay if I share my screen real quick?
Sure, hopefully that's something good.
I think it will be. I think you're gonna like it. I'm gonna
I'm always
pop
worried
on
because
here. I
I have the
know.
best time with Brenda.
I'm gonna pop on here. First of all, I want to go to the ProCare website and just show people what that looks like. And I'm gonna pop onto your website. Let me do your website first. So I have actually your summer program here popped up, and there's a little button for sign up today and get more information talking about all the speakers that you were talking about, which is amazing. And anything else you want to say about this page? This is one of the links I just provided.
Let me see if it's the summer camp page because I'm not seeing it on my part. Let
Oh, you're
me.
not?
Oh wait, no, I'm clicking the wrong tab. Yep. So if you go down, Brenda, would it be cool if you scroll and I just guide through?
Sure,
Awesome.
absolutely.
So the reason we said 14, oh, stop up at Lindsay. Like go up, 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 up. There we go. So this is Lindsay that I told you about, gang. And she came to us right before, like about 7 months before her wedding. That is when we started, and that is her honeymoon pic that she was so proud of. We said it was 14 weeks initially because we started with 14 speakers, but some of our best speakers, like Jared Hamilton, who is going to be featured on TED Talks this month, he has the weight loss and health and fitness speech that he is presenting. He, when he heard about summer camp and the program that we had, said there is nothing like this in the bariatric community or even in the weight loss space. And he was like, I need to get you some of the better names that would be awesome for you. And he brought 5 extra speakers on. Uh, People like Beth Ferrico, Ryan Cassim, Stephanie Crasweller, some of the top experts in fitness and nutrition, not just in the bariatric community, gang, but across the country. And if you scroll down, Brenda, sorry, I'm going to put you to work while we finish the
I
presentation.
I need to be put to work. It keeps me out of trouble.
I know that's you and me both are the same. We need to be fully engaged. Keep scrolling down because I want to go through some of the experts. So you see there's Jared, Betsy Dovek, who has performed thousands of surgeries. Stephanie Crosswaller is the top menopause expert in the area, as well as Laura Gerbeau. Summer Kessel, the author of Living Your Best Semaglutide Life, is going to teach you everything you need to consider when you are on a GLP-1, as well as Beth Ferrico, who has the top weight loss podcast in the country with Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, and also has some of the best advice possible. So we have brought you some of the best speakers across the country to be a part of this. And then if you scroll down on the page,
Sure.
Yep.
Rob, somebody's asking to the pricing on the summer camp.
You can come in and start for as little as 150 a month. And that gets you access to workouts, nutrition, access to me for question and answer, and everything else. I will say this, and I hate to be salesy, but we have sold out every year of summer camp. I doubt that we will not sell out this year, which is a double negative, which just shows I'm Italian. So, in translation for everyone else, we will sell out summer camp. So, that's the only thing I will say is like, if you're considering on it, at least hop on a call or fill out the application. But for as little as 150 a month, you get 6 months of some of the best speaker experts, workouts crafted by bariatric patients for bariatric patients, and access to the best bariatric coaching staff in the country. You're not going to find that anywhere else for as little as 150 a month.
I
Also, I
know
see
I
there's a
in
question.
personal training before, and it's the cost is more than
Crazy,
double that. So
crazy.
yeah,
Yep.
it is. So I mean, if your budget can handle that, I think it's definitely a great way to get everything you need, not only the fitness part, but also just all those extra add-ons. Was
Yep.
I supposed to
Here's
be?
another.
Oh, well,
Yep.
who's that?
Oh no. Pop down. Oh, there's me. Yay. But if you look, these are some of our clients who have lost hundreds of pounds with us uh, because they know the importance of this program. And it's something we pride ourselves on is we've helped you find the solutions that work for you. And you can go see their accounts. They're more than willing to talk to you. That's a little bit more of Lindsay's story. There's another picture of her uh, at her rehearsal dinner. But again, like Lindsay will be the first to tell you she is an ordinary person who got extraordinary success with us. And to give you an idea, like that's me from when I started to where I'm at. Well, not today, but a year ago. Um, but yeah, I think I did okay, you know. So
Two thumbs up.
awesome. Thank you, Brent. We can keep scrolling down now.
Okay.
But yeah, there's tons of frequently asked questions, and you'll see if you click on any of those buttons at the bottom, like right there, Thrive Inside the Hive is our 150 a month program. That'll walk you through everything that you need. No, Darlene, it's all the same. Like you get summer camp as part of coaching and working with us. That's just added on.
So basically, there's three levels, and
Correct.
depending on they just build, each one
Yeah,
builds a little bit more. Okay.
yeah. It really comes
Okay.
down to the level of support you need. And my best advice is like that's where like when you apply for Busy Bariatrics, you talk with me and I listen, which is becoming a lost art in this day and age. But we're just going to have a conversation of do we think this program is a good fit for you? We're going to tell you exactly how we're going to solve your problem, free of charge. And then I would probably just tell you based on what you said. I think you are pretty much good to go on your own and do it self-paced, or I think it might help if you have someone holding you accountable. And then you might need a little bit more accountability, but it's totally guilt-free, comfort-free. So please, everyone, if you're listening to this, just apply now and get a spot before they run out because they will. Um, and as I said, we have like 22 spots left because when so many of our clients saw the speaker series and what we're doing, they said we are staying through summer. And that locked up a lot of our spots. But please, 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 if you're considering it, um, spots are limited because we do want to keep it relatively small and intimate for our group and go from there.
Rob, there's a comment from on the chat here feature and asking if you actually coach or do you assign one of your other coaches?
Darlene, I will tell you this. At this time, I do have coaching spots available, but they are extremely limited and they are a little bit higher in price. It really comes down to whatever coach I think is the best fit for you. Lisa is a menopause expert who actually does all of our programming and lifting, and she does a phenomenal job of getting results, as does Kylie, who is postpartum from her third kid and incorporates a GLP-1 in her journey. Both are amazing coaches. You can also work with me, but I am a little bit higher priced. And because my client roster is relatively close, but you still get, and Latoya's in here. Like Latoya could probably share. Latoya, if you don't mind, in the chat, just some of her experience in the group. Um, but our coaches are probably better than me at this point because they can give you more attention than I can. But you can still come to our group coaching call on Wednesdays where Latoya will tell you I coach more often than I don't. Every now and then I have an event, but I always try to, like, yeah, Darlene, I try to be as transparent as possible because there's nothing worse than, you finding out you're getting like bait and switched or anything else like that.
Okay. Well, awesome. And Rob, is it okay if I do a shout out too to our sponsor?
Absolutely.
Okay. Guys, I just want to Rob has been a long time supporter of ProCare. So I do appreciate Rob all that you do with always always being there and um he does have a code to use if you want to save a little money here. I'll put that in the chat feature in
I've
just a
also
moment.
mentioned it like 57 times. So promo code BusyBee it is.
That is what you get. You get 10% off your order. So guys, use Busy Bee and basically that does not expire. You can use it every month if you choose to do that. Um, Basically, you guys, ProCare, what it's known for is being the first company to create the first one a day multivitamin. Our prices are pretty much unbeatable for most of our multis. If you do find a lower price at another company, we do have a price match guarantee. So you can actually use the chat feature on the computer. Um, and when you chat, you can just ask them if you can, price match whatever product you're looking at that you didn't, or you can call our support phone number up here. Um, we carry multivitamins. We carry, I'm gonna do the drop down multivitamins. We carry GLP-1 support. We carry calcium and therapeutics, all different kinds of things to add on to your routine, including protein. So check out those little squares, find out, if you haven't tried ProCare, you can always type in and get a free sample. There's a little blue bar at the top of our website that basically has a click here, little button, and you can click and get a free sample sent to you. There is no cost for that whatsoever. And I also want to say our resources button is great to kind of check out too. Under that, you're going to find a tab that says Bari-Connected. I'll pull that up. On that page, you're going to see every month's upcoming support group. This month, Rob's will be on here probably for a couple more weeks too. And you guys can come back, listen to the replay. All you got to do is use the code that you registered for. It will be placed on our YouTube channel and also additionally on most major podcast stations. So we have that. And also want to say underneath of that is some links to previous episodes that we've done, including there is under here a little link to get to our YouTube channel, which right now we actually have over 500 videos. And I kind of, before we started, there should be a little, I know, over 500, there should be a little subscribe here button. Over here to the side, there's a search button. If you type in Rob's name, Rob, I believe this is our fifth episode that we've done together. So you can come
Is
back and
this
listen to
really?
some of the other ones. Yes, it
Oh my
is.
goodness.
So
Always honored to do this.
it's fun. We always have a good time. He's done Beating the Burr, which is suggesting the end of the the months at the end of the year. Optimizing movement after bariatric surgery. He talks about effective strategies for burning fat. Another one was you you and Kim Terapelli met and we all had a talk on movement and macros, which was amazing too. So
Love
I
Kim.
wanted to
She's
bring that up.
such an awesome
Yeah.
resource. Brenda, and thank you so much for showcasing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rob, I got to ask too, um, how do they listen to your podcast? Did
Oh,
they just
just
get it
put
off your website?
you can get it off the website. We're available on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts are listened to. You can either put in Rob DiMedio and it comes up, or you can put Busy Bariatrics and that will come up as well. Also, Latoya just shared in the chat. She joined at a plateau, but is still an active strength trainer herself. Kylie has mentored her to the next level. Lisa has her legs sore at this very moment, and I call her out on her BS, and I love it. That's her words, not mine. She also said she started in January and she is down 17 pounds and the muscles are popping. Again, her words from the chat, people. I'm just the reader. And I will tell you, Latoya is ordinary in the sense that when Latoya came in, she was doing everything right. And we just need to do a couple gentle tweaks and then keep her on her consistency game, which she has done amazingly with. And the results are showing. So proud of you, Latoya, and thank you so much for the kind words. But also, my team's pretty awesome.
I agree. I've actually got a few workouts in with Rob at different retreats, so I can attest that top notch and lots of fun actually too.
Always good.
So that's all. I mean, I think that's all we
Yeah.
have for today. We appreciate you guys being here. Go to sign up now for the summer camp. I don't think you guys will regret it. And actually think about it. Your body will be totally different. Instead of like a lot of times people will say, oh, it's swimsuit season and kind of just
Do it now.
crunch. They get that, yeah, get the crunch going. It's like, when does it start and when does it end?
We start May 15th as our first speaker. And then we go all the way through September 15th. And we have nothing but a wealth of amazing speakers. I would highly advise, though, people get in now. I try to do ProCare first on the podcast tour because I love Brenda so much and we've worked well together. But spots will be limited. So even if you're considering it, just apply so we can have a conversation and help you. And listen to what Latoya said. Seriously, I'm going to read again. Seriously, don't think about it. Just do it. No regrets. Couldn't ask for better from one of my amazing clients. Really, Kylie's amazing client. But
Yeah, today's the day. Today's the day for the rest of your life. And Rob, is it online where they can access everything on their own time, or do they have to like be logging
nope,
on at a specific
you can
time?
access everything at your own on your own time.
Okay, that makes it even easier yet. So workouts, speakers, replays, all of that kind of stuff.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, coaches and all that. Okay, perfect. Well, I want to say thank you, Rob, for spending your day here with us. And I want to just thank every single one of you guys for showing up for yourself. I had a support group last night and we were talking about, I think one of the hardest things is we're always there for everybody else. And sometimes taking time for yourself and making yourself a priority doesn't always feel right. And I don't know if that's maybe just in our upbringing or what, or maybe just in in general, how the communities are built. But showing up for yourself is probably the most priority thing you can do because the better you are for yourself, the more full your cup is, the more that you can help other people. So, any closing thoughts, any closing words that you want to say, Rob?
Now, just, this is the time to put yourself first, people. Take advantage of the opportunity and keep getting busy.
Exactly. And let's stay very connected. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye,
Bye bye.
everyone.